Hello, hello, hello. Today we are talking about Miss Chaka Khan. Allow me to tell you something good about Miss Chaka. She has blessed us with hits like I Feel For You, Through the Fire, and Tell Me Something Good, of course. She is the winner of 10 Grammys, has a plethora of award nominations. She garnered 10 number one singles, 10 gold and platinum albums with her group Rufus and as a solo artist, and has a bevy of accolades to show of. But her personal life is known to make headlines just as good. Before we get into that, intro, please. Hello, my name is Tamika, and whether you stumbled upon Junkie for a Story or are here by intention, thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoy this video, and if so, please give it a like and subscribe. Also, take the extra step and click the bell to turn on notifications. There will be a link in the description for this autobiography I reference in this video, Chaka Through the Fire by Chaka Khan and Tanya Bolden. I'm sorry, with Tanya Bolden. If you want more info about the book, you know what to do. And now, on to the video. According to her website, chakakhan.com, which I must say looks fabulous, she has been in the music game for 5 decades and is commemorating this milestone with a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame celebration, which is much deserved. She was nominated 7 times, but like they say, 7 times the charm. Chaka Khan will be inducted into the Rock Hall's class of 2023 in the Music Excellence category this November in ceremonies at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, as it states on cleveland.com. In celebration of her legendary singing career, I thought it would be fitting to read Chaka's autobiography. It is rather old, from 2003, and she is scant on details that fans are curious about, but it is an interesting and entertaining read nonetheless. In Chaka Through the Fire, which again isn't saying much, she tells her life story about joining acts Rufus, aka Rufus, romances with band members, her philanthropic efforts, as well as her struggles with substance abuse. But what I found especially interesting is her time in Scientology. Before I talk about Scientology, I want to share some quotes from Chaka's autobiography pertaining to her drug habit. She said, "Heroin was the only thing I could go on with." She also said, speaking of the American government's strategy to entrap and oppress poor black people, I was able to snatch myself back and get it together enough to get out of heroin, my apartment, New York, the country. Now, I know very little about the pseudo religion called Scientology. I do remember a time when I lived in New York. This was probably early 2000s, when they would have scouters in the subways, on the platforms, trying to lure people into Scientology with pamphlets and speeches and whatnot. And I do remember taking a test one time. I guess it's just the entry test. I don't know exactly what it was called, but the questions on there, they were different, to say the least. But yeah, I mean, I that was a no for me. But I was surprised to learn about Shaka's time in Scientology. Now, what is Scientology? I'm just going to give you a brief definition, and this is from their website. So it was developed by L. Ron Hubbard, and it states Scientology is a religion that offers a precise path leading to a complete and certain understanding of one's true spiritual nature and one's relationship to self, family, groups, mankind, all life forms, the material universe, the spiritual universe, and the supreme being. Did I say that was brief? So, as you can hear from the definition, it is very much male centered and focused, which should come as no surprise. However, Chaka Khan credits Scientology with helping her kick her drug habit with some relapses here and there. In the chapter titled Epiphany, Shaka's sister had been researching places for Shaka to go and get sober when she came across the Super Sauna Detox program offered at the Scientology Celebrity Center. Shaka describes her addiction as not hitting rock bottom, but, and I'm quoting here, I'd always been able to pull myself back from the brink in the nick of time, but I was tired of being at the brink in the first place. Shaka states that the Scientology Celebrity Center's purification program is for anyone who wants to cleanse themselves of anything: environmental toxins, pharmaceuticals, stress, what have you. And after her sister and brother-in-law took the program and found it helpful, Shaka decided to give it a shot. Now, I will say she does gloss over her drug addiction. I mean, she is honest about being a drug addict, but I mean, I find the details a bit muddy. But I did notice how, with most drug addicts, she has a network. So I don't know who turned who onto drugs. I don't know if she said it in her autobiography and I missed it, but eventually her siblings became addicted to drugs, and it sounds like they got themselves clean. I almost forgot to mention her father also was known to supply her drugs, and that was a bit of contention between him and Chaka Khan's husband. One of the husbands didn't like her father for that reason. But also, she hung around with a lot of people in the music industry who also battled drug addiction. She was good friends with Miles Davis. I have an episode, well, a couple of episodes about Miles Davis, and we know his story. She also made music with Prince, or the artist formerly known as, and he had struggles as well. So, I mean, a lot of her close friends, as well as romantic partners, shared these addictions as well. So I can see why it made things complicated when she wanted to kick the habit. But Like I said, when her sister told her of the success she had with the Scientology Celebrity Center's purification program, Chaka decided to take a chance. She said she stayed at the Chateau Elysee in Hollywood. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but in Hollywood, okay? She was there for many weeks and was, these are her words, knocking back heavy duty vitamins and eating wholesome, all natural foods. She also worked out and believes she sweated the drugs out of her system. Again, these are her words. All sorts of drugs oozed from me. She does admit to a crack cocaine relapse and confessed that her habit got so bad that her mother ended up taking her kids away from her. But she ends her story implying that she is in control of herself. Now, again, this was 2003, so maybe at that time, things were okay for her. But being a long term drug addict, I imagine it is always a daily effort that one has to put forth. And it does look like she's struggling again. So, I mean, we've seen some public appearances that have been questionable, to say the least. And yeah, there's been some speculation in recent years that maybe she is back on the habit. Nothing confirmed, to my knowledge. But I hope she is doing well. She is safe and happy and healthy and living her best life. One thing I will say though is I wish she would just sit back and relax and enjoy the ceremonies when it comes to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, okay? I truly hope she does not perform, although I know that is unlikely. But I strongly encourage her to opt out of a live performance or just any performance. I strongly encourage her to just enjoy the ceremonies and let everyone else do the performing. I mean, you put in your time. We know what you can do and everything else. So, yeah, that's just my opinion, but we'll see what happens in November. Well, that's all for this episode. Short and sweet. If you liked it, give this video a like, comment, subscribe if you choose. And answer me this. What do you think of Chaka Khan finally getting her Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction in 2023? It only took 50 years. Just 50. I mean, I would say that's a long time. A long time coming. But at least she gets to live to see it, unlike some legends whose accolades arrive after their death. P.S. Who knew Shaka had so many non-black lovers? I was quite surprised by that. Not that I'm saying anything's wrong with it. It's just she strikes me as the type that, love her some black men. So I was surprised to learn that she did date outside her race. And I believe she had, well, I remember at least one. Her son, Damien, is with, I think he was a Mexican man. I remember her commenting on her son's skin complexion and saying he is light, but he can't pass for white. So I know that child is mixed, but I believe her daughter is as well, but I don't remember what ethnicity the father is. But yeah, I was surprised to learn she had, she dabbled a bit. It didn't work out nonetheless, but she experimented with, various men from different walks of life. She even dated a German guy who was the reason she learned to speak the language so she could converse with him. And then by the end of this book, she was saying she found love again, but this is with a black man. And again, I'm a bit astonished to learn that she's still married. So I don't know if this is one of those married on paper, but not really living a traditional married life. Because I mean, when I see Chaka, in interviews and stuff, she just comes across as a single woman. So I don't know what's going on there, but it looks like on paper she's still married. And at the end of her autobiography, of course, she was still in that beginner's love phase. So she had good things to say. I don't know what she would be saying about her husband right now, but that's how the book ended, okay? And let's hope she found some good love, because the road to a happily ever after for her has been a bit rocky. I mean, she's had some violent relationships. She's had some lovers who didn't appreciate her or know her worth. So I hope this third marriage is the charm for her. There will be a link in the description if you want more info on Chaka Khan's autobiography, Chaka Through the Fire. I do think she should make some updates to this one. I mean, it has been 20 years, but who knows? Who knows if there will be a follow up to her 2003 release. But that's all for me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.